Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Art Therapy Thursday, and I know I said I was going to finish this one on Tuesday, but I already finished the one that we were going to do today. So we're going to work on this one today and finish this off today, hopefully. So I have taped it down. Hopefully my tape stays. It has decided it doesn't like my board. I have my Caran d'Ache water pen as well as a large water pen for the larger areas. And I have, of course, my heat gun and the picture. We will be using the Caran d'Ache uh, Aquarelle Neocolor 2s um, again today. And I have done the swatch cheat sheet so I know what colors I'm grabbing. Yay! just just because. Now I'm going to use a flat surface today, and we're going to see if that works any better or worse for these. I'm just going to move my other one out of the way here. We may end up using it anyway, depending upon how things go. Now I have printed this on 67-pound Neenah cardstock, but it's not watercolor paper. So I've taped it down. It does warp a little bit. The watercolor that I put on it before did warp it a little bit. I haven't ironed it or anything. I just blow dried it. So once we're all finished with it, I will iron it. All right, so I'm going to switch this over to the close-up camera. So I'm going to move this over. And we're going to go here. So the area that we're going to work on today is the area in the side here. So from the cups down. And we're also going to work on her hair. And I'll be tipping the camera as I go. Maybe I'll do this and we'll see if we can zoom it out a bit, because I can't move the board, but I can move the camera. So let's see if we can bring that out a little. Nope, that's as zoomed out as we get. All right, so we'll have to try to move the board a little, I think. I'll try to move the board a little. Here we go. So I'm going to start on the rock face there. So the first thing that we're going to use is the yeah, I think we're going to start with the gray. And I'm just going to scribble it. Actually, I'm going to put it on the, I'm going to hit this one here. And then I'm going to hit this here so you can see what I'm doing without looking in my lap. So I'm just scribbling a large amount of the, and it seems to work really good on this palette, so that's good. And scribble a large amount of that on the palette. We're going to take our big brush. Now this is just a big water brush, and we're going to wet this down and pick up as much of that as we can. And then we're going to I'm going to move this a little bit here. So you'll have a bit of a block there from the close-up camera, but that's okay. So we're just going to do a basing on all of our rock faces with this gray. Don't worry, we'll be adding other colors as well. Ooh, the paper is thirsty today. I hope everybody has had a good week. And of course, because it is Art Therapy Thursday, we're going to do some paint therapy, which should be nice and relaxing. Oh, thirsty paper. Thirsty paper. Just going to wet my brush a little bit more here. Hopefully it won't be too wet. Need a little bit more of that color. Now I'm not going to color on the same spot that I colored on before because I don't want to wet the crayon. But I will move it over if I can. And I'm just going around the cups because those are going to be a gold. Goodness, this paper is really thirsty. It is just soaking up the paint, which is fine, but it's not very helpful to, not very conducive to keeping that color on the page. I'm just going to put some more down. Now I expected to use quite a bit of the gray because of the amount of surface that we have here to cover. So I'm not too concerned about how much is going down. I'm more concerned with how thirsty this paper is. Because it is a very thirsty paper. Now I don't know if that changes because of the blow drying of it, or if it's just really dry in my house and the paper's going, hey, water, yum. Okay, so I'm going to get up into those areas with a smaller brush. I don't know how well the, oh, maybe I can do it. I can do it. Because I was going to say, I don't want to go over the goblets with the paint because I don't know how well the gold paint that I'm going to be using is going to be with the water and the watercolor underneath it. Although I think we might end up finding out because I think I want to put some black on them to get it nice and, but I might do that with colored pencil. We will have to see. We're working. So basically I'm just going right over top of all of the paper here, just putting down a base coat of this gray. And we'll be adding other colors to it, so don't worry, it's not just going to be gray. Alright, I think I'm out of color here. I'm going to have to put some more down. I know, boring, boring, boring. And I know I'm off screen. I'll move it up a little so it's at least a little bit on screen. I'm going to add some more of that gray. And we're going to put a couple of drops down. Wet that pen up a little. So these Neo colors dissolve really, really nicely. They put off a really good amount of color. Which is really good. But with thirsty paper, they do get absorbed quite well, quite quickly. All right. Just trying to make sure I get into all the crevices and areas. I'm going to pick up as much of that color as I can. All right, now we've got the other side here to do as well. And we really don't want to wet the crayon, but I've run out of space to scribble it. Let's have to remember it's wet, so I won't put it back. Just going to wet it down. Make sure it's nice and... Now we're going to come over here. We're going to do the same thing. Cover those edges under her hand and under her hair as well. And we will be using the detail brushes to get into the deeper areas and that sort of thing. I'm just getting underneath the crevice here. You know what? I think I'm doing that. No, that's right. I was going to say, I think I'm doing that wrong. I'm seeing it wrong. I think this is an overhang and this is part of the sky. Oops. Now that I look at it with color on it, sometimes you don't see exactly what it is or how it's supposed to be or what it's meant to be until you have color on it. So let's see if we can get some black on there and see if we can actually correct that. Let's see. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. It might just be a little bit lighter than the rest of the sky. put a little bit of water in there. So I'm just going to let that soak in and add a little bit more after it's dried a bit. Because I'm pretty sure that this is sky, now that I look at it, with color on the rocks. And even if it's a crevice, I wanted it dark anyway, so. Let's pick up as much of that black as we can. Oh, I hate it when it does that. My brush has decided that it's going to split because there's not enough water on it. There we go. That's better. Make sure I get some more black on there. Like I said, we'll have to let it dry and then we'll do another layer. Rinse that off. Okay, so that's what we're going to use that for. Now I'm going to take a bit of paper towel and wipe off my stuff there. Then we're going to take the Caran d'Ache one and we're going to put some umber down. And I'm just going to put down a whole bunch of the umber. And we're going to activate this. Make sure it's nice and wet. And then we're going to come in and we're going to give our shadow areas a bit of that umber. Because, well, to be honest, rocks are not usually very gray. They do have a little bit of brown sediments in it. We're going to go down here with this. I need a little bit more water, I think. I'm just putting in the shadow areas of her sitting there. And after we get this part done, we'll give it a little bit of a dry. I'm trying to get my brush to be in a point here. It's going to pick up a little bit of water out of my water cup because I want it a little bit wetter, because this bottom one here is going to be a little bit more brown into the gray. We're going to do the entire underneath with quite a bit of the brown as well, but we're going to lighten it up with the water. Put in some shadows here. Like so. Hopefully we're still on screen. Move it down a little bit here for you. And then underneath here, see, this is the under area here. So we're just going to cover that whole area. Get a little bit of water on there. Pick up some more of that brown. And just make it a bit darker underneath. Okay, now we're going to blow dry it because it's getting really wet. It's gotten a little bit too wet. I don't want it to be too wet. Sorry about the noise. Alright, so we're going to grab a little bit more of that. Umber. Because we've still got some crevices and other things to fill in. We're also going to add a little bit of blacks and that sort of thing as well. So we're just going to come back through here. And come down. To the bottom here. And we'll come back through with our gray as well, just to blend in some of these darker colors. so that they don't look like such wiggly, unprofessional kind of lines. Alright, just going to swipe that down a little. Just giving it a bit of a shadow from the back side here. The top area isn't going to need as much of a shadow as this area here. That's on the back side away from the moon. I need more water. My brush needs more water. I'm going to try to smooth some of that out. Add a little bit more color. We're going to have to put more color on the palette. Thirsty paper today, I'm telling you. Thirsty, thirsty paper. These brushes are great. They just pick up all of that color. And this one's really good for those smaller detail areas. But if you move it the right way, you can definitely get it into some of the larger areas as well and get a good coverage. Okay, so there's our base of our now these I'm going to do as a different type of rock formation. Well, different, not a different type, just a little bit more individualized because there's going to be different layers of light hitting different areas, if that makes any sense. So we're going to come through here, put in our cracks and whatnot. On this area here. This area here. Like I said, I'm going to take some gray and I'm going to blend this stuff in as well. That's where the chalice is sitting is the top of a plateau. This is a plateau that's sticking out, so we don't want to do all of it. Okay, and that's the side of a plateau. It's got some shadows on it. that. All right, so we're gonna move on over to this other side here. So that's what we've done so far. Sorry if it was off camera for the most part. But we're going to do this area, then we're going to blow dry it again, then we're going to add some more gray. That's the word I'm looking for. Words are hard, people. Words are hard. It is a miserable rainy day here in Oregon today. I was really kind of hoping for some sunshine. I'd like my lawn to dry out. It'd be nice. So just going through and adding a little bit more of that brown in here where that sunshine isn't going to be hitting, or that moonlight isn't going to be hitting it. Here I'm thinking about sunshine because I want it to be sunny. Just darkening this area up a little bit. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to be a little darker. There we go. Alright, now we're going to wipe that off. And we're going to rinse this brush. And we're going to take a little bit of the black. And we're going to redo that black area. Like so. Redo that sky. Because I'm pretty sure that's a part of the sky now. After getting the bridge thing that she's sitting on done, I'm pretty sure this is sky. Alright. And I think I need just a little bit more of the black. I want it to be as dark as the other areas of sky, which is a little bit hard to do with watercolor when I used marker for the other sky. So it'll just take a couple of layers. And I probably could have come back through with some ink and did it with an ink, but I'm a little bit concerned with the fact that there's water on the paper and having that ink spread where I don't want it to be. So it's just safer to do it in watercolor, if that makes sense. It's just a small amount. And it's fairly dark. It's pretty close. Alright, I'm going to rinse that out. This paint puck thing is awesome. Alright, now we're going to take some gray Not worried about mixing it in with the black too much. A little bit of that black won't hurt. Getting a really good amount of the gray down. I know that's quite a bit, but with the areas that we need to go over, we want it to be quite thick. Need a bit more water. I want it to show that shadow, but not, blend into that shadow, not take it over. Take a much darker area here and here. Because this shelf is going to be a little bit darker than the other ones due to it being down below it. And we're just going to go into those. Like I said, I want to blend into that brown, not overtake it. Trying not to hit the chalices too much. More water. Like that. Same with up here. We're just going to blend into that brown. Soften those lines a bit. Like so. This one here, we're getting underneath here a little bit. And I may be off screen for you up on top, but there you go. Come through here. Like so. And we're going to come in here and darken that up a bit. Just want to try to make it as close to the same all the way across. Come through here. Alright, so there we have our crevices. and our rock formations. Now, just going to blend in a little bit here. Add some water. We're just going to blend that brown in a bit more here. Darkening up these areas. All right. And I think I got a little bit more to do on the other side here, just to darken this up a little. I need more water. I don't want that dark. Get up under her hair there. Like so. Okay. I think that is good. Alright, I'm going to rinse off my brush. And we're going to leave that gray on there. I'm just going to turn the palette and we're going to take a little bit of yellow. And I want this to be a bit brighter than the yellow and white that we did on the moon. And we're just going to take a little bit of it. We're going to bring it into the front of the rocks here. I'm just taking my finger and smoothing it in so that it's not got a hard edge. Of course, I'm off camera again. Let's move it over here. There, that's better. So, I gotta move that so I don't stick my arm in it. So I've got the yellow and I'm just bringing it in to the areas that the moonlight is going to hit. On the edges there. As well as back here. Because you're going to have a little bit of moonlight coming off of there as well. So we're on the other side over here. So I'm putting a little bit of moonlight in this area here as well. Because the moon's going to hit all those areas. Rounded my tip a little bit so that I don't have a harsh little area. I'm just going to put a little bit of yellow in the moon here as well. See if we can cover up a little bit of that grain that we picked up along the way somewhere. Not a big deal because it's the moon and, well, it's going to have all different colors. All different variations because the moon has pockets and crevices and all sorts of stuff. Alright, so we've got our moonlight in, I think. I think we're doing okay with that. more water on my, bring some more water down. There we go. Sometimes if you don't have enough water, it doesn't, it picks up the crayon, but it doesn't activate it. Alright, now I think we're all done with the rocks. Let's work on her hair. Now we're going to use an actual brush for her hair. I'm going to tip this up so that you can see her head. There we go. So we're going to do a base color of her hair, for her hair. And we're going to start with, now I had a couple of different suggestions, either orange or red or pink. Now I only have, maybe this one, no. I've only got a couple of pinks that really aren't the greatest for hair tones. But we have some nice yellow oranges and orangish yellows that we can add and work with to do an orange tone. So I'm going to start with yellowish orange. For our base, just getting that down on the palette. And I'm going to use a regular round brush. This is a number 6 round. I'm just going to wet that up. Make sure all of our bits are broken up here and dissolved. And then we're just going to put down the base color. Now, of course, because of the fact that this is not watercolor paper, it is going to pick up a bit of my printer ink. So we have to be a little bit careful doing big wide swoops, as I just found out, which is fine. We'll figure it out. Now for these smaller areas, I may need to grab one of my fine liners. I think this is doing okay though. This is just the base color. This is just what we're going to build off of. I think I need a little bit more. I love it when you think you've got enough on the palette and it's not even close. Enough to do half her head. Let's grab everything last bit and then we'll add a little bit more to the palette. Alright, let's grab some more. My brushes are thirsty today too. Goodness. I think it's dry in my house or something. I'm gonna put a little bit more water on there. It's picking up a little bit too much of the black from the ink, which is going to drive me crazy. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of the color. We'll cover it up. So you can vary your color just by how much water you put down on it, just like any other paint product. So the more water you put down, the less color is going to show through because it's diluted. But the less water you put on and the more color you put on, the brighter it's going to be. Darker. More color. Alright, there's our base coat. I'm going to blow dry it here, so this is going to get loud for a second. It's pretty dry. Good. And to clean my brush, and then we're going to take orange. We're going to put a good amount on the palette. And I'm going to take a fine liner brush. So this one is a number 2. And we're going to get a bunch of that orange on there. Now I'm going to roll the brush, making it nice and really tight point. I'm not very good at flicking paint, so and I've never used the Neo 2s before, so this is an experience. It's a journey you all get to come on me with. No, that came out wrong. It's a journey you get to come with me on. There we go. That's better. Words are hard, people. Words are hard. That's all I'm saying. That came out terribly. Oops. Oh well. Alright, so I'm just putting this orange throughout her hair in the areas I think it should be darker, leaving that lighter color as our highlight color. We'll also be coming through with a red orange for our really deep areas. Concentration. You don't want to see my concentration face. It's not pretty. Still working with that orange color. Just bringing it in. And this is a very small amount of hair. It looks like a lot, but because it's really small strands, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get color on with paint. It would be a little bit easier with colored pencil. I love Molly's work. And I love doing it in colored pencil, but I wanted to give it a try in the watercolor to see how well it would do. Well, that, and I wanted to play with the Neos. That was my main thing, is I wanted to play with my Neos. Let's be honest. And for all of you people that have Neos, if I am doing this wrong, let me know. Because I have never used them before this picture. Get a little bit more water here. Remember to roll my brush because it's starting to get a little thick. So the great thing about Molly's work is she does put in a really faint grayscale shadow, even in her line art, so that you know where your shadows are going to be. You know where you're going to be putting that darker color. Oh, I finally put down just enough color to do what I wanted to do with it. Isn't that amazing? I think I'm getting this. And of course, I'm almost done the picture. Not always the way, though. Start getting a grasp on it, and then you're all done. It goes so much faster when you have a understanding of what you're doing. Okay, need a little bit down here as well. Like so. Alright, now we're going to take the next color, which is flame red. We're going to put it on the palette here. Now this is more of a red-orange. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that orangey orange that we have down here as well. And Mr. Choo Choo is going to say hello. A little more water. Now I'm going to try to flick in different directions without moving the board here. I cannot guarantee that that is going to work. There we go. Trying to get those really thin areas that are shadowed with some color. Now this side here is going to have more of that orange because it's deeper in the shadow area. Dip it in there. So remember to leave your highlights. And I think I need to put a little bit darker bit here. Concentration face. Sorry, guys. That's the only thing about painting and doing things that you're not used to doing very well or at all, is the concentration that you need in your own brain to accomplish said task. You end up shutting up really quick. Going, All right, I think maybe no, maybe no. You don't want to know what my brain's doing. It's boring. All right, now we're going to move down here. I'm leaving that one on the edge fairly yellow. Bring that orange down here. Water. All right. And I think we have hair, people. What do you guys think? Not like you can answer me. What do you think, Miss Mermaid? Do you like your hair? All right. All right, so we have reached our hour, but I want to at least finish her up. So I'm going to turn the palette again, and we're going to take this um, carmine red, and we're just going to put a little tiny bit of carmine red in her lips. Like so. May even take a little tiny bit of it and get some water on the brush. Might even take just a tiny bit of it and go into some of these deeper areas with it. Like so. Alright. Now we're going to do her jewelry in gel pen, and we're going to do the cups in a different medium. So I'm going to do one cup, and then the rest of them I will do off camera, as well as her jewelry. So I'll do this cup here. And this stuff here, it's called a Jacquard's Luminary. This is bright gold. And of course my stuck back down. There we go. And I'm just going to take this one here, which is a number 3. I'm just going to fill the brush. And I'm just going to paint the goblet. And after I'm done painting the goblet, I am going to run the dryer over it. And then we're going to take some watercolor and we're going to see if we can put the shadows into the goblet with the paint crayons there. Well, might as well, since I have all of it out, might as well do all the rest of them too while I'm at it. Right? There's no point having it all out and not doing everything with that you're going to do with it. And they're small little goblets, so we'll take the extra time today and we will finish this picture because I want to finish it. I don't want to stop painting and then come back to it, so I know. Alright, that's got too much of a clump, so I don't want that much of a clump. I want to try to be as thin as possible, but still get as much coverage as possible, if that makes sense. Otherwise it overtakes the lines in the picture a little bit. Which is fine. We can go back over it with some darker color, like a black or a red brown, and darken it up a little bit. You can also take a pencil and put that detail back in if you need to. Now this is an acrylic paint. So it does wash off with water. So cleaning this off my brush is not going to be a problem. Unlike the alcohol paint that I was doing the other day that I thought would come off with water. I couldn't remember. And I was wrong. It does not come off with water, but that's okay. That's why we have rubbing alcohol. Now I'm doing a very, very thin amount here inside the goblet. Trying to make sure I don't overtake those black lines because I need those black lines to show me where to put things. And once we're all done the goblets, like I said, I'm going to run the air dryer over it. And we're going to take some shadow colors. Alright, so that's all the goblets done. I'm going to rinse off my brush, wipe it clean, see, all clean, and put this away before I knock it over, because yeah, that would suck. And then we're going to take this wonderful thing here, make sure it's all dry. We might as well dry her hair while we're at it. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. It's nice and dry. So we've got some gray here, and we're going to put down a little bit of black. Oh, no, that's umber. That's not black. Where's my black? Oh, there it is. That's umber. That's okay. We're going to be using a little bit of umber too. Let's put the black back. And we're also going to use a little bit of brown. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, now I'm going to use the same brush that I just used. It's going to wet it down. And we're going to start with a little bit of the brown. And we're just going to bring that in on the edges here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Like so. And we're going to do the same thing on the inside. Just a little bit deeper. Like so. Then we're going to take our water. We're going to take a little bit more of that. And a little bit of umber. We're going to go down the stem a little. I'm going to take a touch of black. Darken that up a little. Like that. Then we're going to take a little bit more of the black. Like that. And give a shadow in that goblet. So now we're going to do the same thing over again. We need our brown again. So I'm going to put down more of the brown this time because I didn't put down quite enough. And I've got 4 more goblets to do. So I'm going to grab a little bit of water. A little bit more of the brown. Just shadowing that back side of that glass of that goblet and the inside as well. Then we'll take a little bit of the black like that. Again, with the black down the base. Like so. And there we have it. Now the next one, I'm going to take some brown, put a little touch more water on it. Do the inside of the cup. Now this one here is going to have a little bit more of a darker shadow, so I'm just going to take a touch of that gray and mix it into that brown. Because of the rock formation blocking everything here. Need a little bit more water. There we go, that's better. We're going to leave the darkest areas up there and down here. And we're going to take a little bit of that black. Like that. Come down in here a little bit with it. There we go. And then we're going to do the last one here, and then we will be all done. Now this one here is up on the pedestal here, so it's going to be a little bit more gold color on this side because the moon is going to be hitting it more. So we're going to put more of the shadow down the back in the middle, leaving that bright gold on the edges. And we're going to use a little bit of black. Like so. And there is all of our goblets done. Now the only other thing we have to do is the jewelry. And I was going to do it in gel pen, but we might as well stick with the paint stuff. So I have the Luminary Super Sparkle, and we're going to do her jewelry in that. Now I'm going to grab the number 2, which is the thinner of the we're just going to put little spots. For her jewelry. Unfortunately, it's really pretty, but it's very small detailed. So trying to do this with anything, even a gel pen, would be quite difficult. So I'm just going to take a small amount of the, making it really thin so that I can go right over top of the jewelry and still show that detail through it. So when this dries, it should show the detail. However, with the way that the printer ink is reacting with paint, it may not. But we'll see. But we're going to dry that out, and then I think we are done. All right, I'll switch you over to the main camera here. I'll move this palette out of the way. I know this video is much longer than my normal art therapy videos, as well as much longer than most of my other videos. But I wanted to get it all done, and I think we have accomplished that. So we have our wonderful golden goblets. They are very sparkly gold. And we've got her jewelry, which is a little sparkly as well. And we have our wonderful mermaid. Now I might come back through with some more of the luminary and put some in the water, but I think otherwise I think she's all finished. I'm going to take a little bit of gel pen here, and I'm just going to put a little touch on her lip like that. Maybe. Not quite sure I like that. See, eliminate it a little bit. Take our paintbrush and wipe it out a little bit. There we go. That's better. The lips are so small that getting that highlight on there is a lot more difficult than it looked. There we go. Fixed it. All right, so she is all finished. So that is another Molly mermaid all done. I will dry her. I will go over her with the iron, and I might add a bit more sparkle to her. We'll see. With that, I thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this Art Therapy Thursday and completing a wonderful page. Let's turn off this light so you can see her a little bit better. We have completed this with the Neo Color 2 um, Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 colored crayons, aquarelle um, crayons. Wonderful, wonderful product. Are they better or worse than the King Arts? It's hard to tell. I like the colors that they have produced. This is the very first picture I've ever used them on, so I can't really give you a thorough investigation of them. But for what I used them for on this page, they turned out very nicely. So hopefully that helps. Um, yeah, other than that, guys, thank you all very much for hanging out, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube colorist that you enjoy. And never forget to relax, color, and stay safe. Until next time, guys, bye-bye for now.